Hello students, in last lecture we studied the cases of average speed, right? Now we will study about average velocity and instantaneous velocity, right? So what is average velocity? Like average speed, what is average speed? Total distance to the total interval of time, right? Likewise, average velocity is total displacement to the total interval of time, right? So average velocity, you can write total displacement to the total interval of time. Right, it is very simple to understand. We'll take one graph, anything, let's suppose like this, right? And the position of object is at A at time t supposed to be, and the position vector is r1. Likewise, next, the position of object is at B at time t2, and the position vector is, let us suppose, r2. Now join the AB from initial position to final position, and we'll get, by using triangle law of vector addition, r1 plus AB vector must be equal to r2 vector. R1 vector plus AB vector must be equal to R2 vector, and this is by using triangle law of vector addition, right? So AB vector is equal to R2 vector minus R1 vector, and this is our displacement vector. This is total displacement vector, and the position of particle is at A at time t1 and is at B at time t2. So total time required to change this position is t2 minus t1, right? So t2 minus t1. So you can write average velocity as total displacement is r2 bar minus r1 bar, right? So r2 bar minus r1 bar divided by total interval of time to change this position is t2 minus of t1. So total time over here is t2 minus t1, right? So average velocity is total displacement divided by total interval of time. Total displacement over here is A to B, that is changing the position from point A to B in total interval of time t2 minus t1. Now what is instantaneous velocity? Instantaneous velocity means at a particular instance of time, what is the velocity of the object, and that is what the instantaneous velocity. So if this time interval t2 minus t1, you can say this time interval is finite time interval. If this finite time interval is tending towards 0, right? So t2 minus t1 difference is tending towards 0. That means what? That means this average velocity is converting it into the instantaneous velocity, right? So you can write, if V average is equal to R2 minus R1 divided by T2 minus T1, right? This is average, right? And if T2 minus T1, this time interval is tending towards 0, then this average velocity is converting into the instantaneous velocity. So V instantaneous you can write as limit t2 minus t1 tending towards 0, and this term r2 minus r1 divided by t2 minus t1. इसी को हम by using differentiation लिख सकते हैं, and what is that? This is dr by dt. Right? So to find instantaneous velocity, it is very recommended कि आपको differentiation आना ही चाहिए, right? So if r bar is equal to supposed to be t square plus 2t plus 1, then you can find the instantaneous velocity at time t is equal to 1 second, t is equal to 2 seconds, right? Likewise, you can find the instantaneous velocity. And if you know at a particular instance of time what is the position and what is the at particular instance of time initial position and the final position, you can calculate the average velocity, right? So we'll take one question, and as we all know, the SI unit of velocity is meter per second and the dimensions are LT minus 1, right? It's very simple. Now the question is, if the position of a particle is a function of time and is given as t square plus 2t plus 1, then find the average velocity and the instantaneous velocity at t is equal to 4 seconds and average velocity in the time interval t is equal to 0 to t is equal to 3 seconds, you can say. So now we wanted to calculate the average velocity at time t is equal to 0 to t is equal to 3 seconds and instantaneous velocity at t is equal to 4 seconds. Now see, if we know the position of a particle at t is equal to 0, then we can calculate the initial position, and t is equal to 3 seconds we can calculate the final position. Like so, देखो v average का फॉर्मूला क्या है हमारा? r2 minus r1 divided by t2 minus t1. What is the position at time t2? We can find t2 is equal to 3 seconds. What is the position of the object? That is r2 is equal to 9 plus 6 plus 1, and that is equal to 16, right? So we can write 16 meters. Now what at t is equal to t1 seconds, what is the t1 is equal to 0 second. What is the position of the object? That is r1 is equal to 1 meter. So r2 is 16, r1 is 1, t2 is 3 and t1 is 0. Putting in this equation, we'll get r2 is 16 minus r1 is 1 divided by t2 is 3 minus 0 divided by 15 is equal to 15 divided by 3, and that is equal to 5 meter per seconds. Right. So this is the average velocity. Now what is the instantaneous velocity? Instantaneous velocity is very simple. Just differentiate this term with respect to time and put t is equal to 4 seconds, will get the instantaneous velocity, and that is dr by dt. This is equal to v instantaneous, right? This is equal to v instantaneous, and that is equal to 2t plus 2 at t is equal to 4 seconds, and that is equal to t is equal to 4. इस इक्वेशन में अगर पुट कर दोगे तो आपको मिलेगा 8 plus 2, and that is equal to 10 meter per second. So this is average velocity and this is instantaneous velocity. Thank you.